Welcome to another episode of the Call Your Mother podcast. I'm Mary Ellen.
And I'm Megan, a mother-daughter duo here to talk life, love, and lessons with a whole lot of laughs.
Every week, we'll dive into real conversations from two generations, two perspectives, and one big heart.
We'll share stories, swap advice, and maybe even get a little teary.
Okay, probably me. But don't worry, we always find our way back to laughter. Let's face it, life's messy, but you don't have to go it alone.
Let's get into it. Hey, Mom.
Hey, long time.
No, see.
Not really. I actually just saw you a week ago.
Fair enough. Well, here we are. And welcome back, everyone, to the Call Your Mother podcast. We are very excited to be with you today. It's been a minute. It's been a hot minute.
It's
But
been more than a hot minute, but yes.
before we get into that, how has your day been?
You know what? My day today has been really good. It started off rainy, sun came out, and then the wind kicked in. Took the dogs for a walk. You can see Liza on the chair behind me. And it's been a great day. I've been pretty productive. How about you?
Pretty good. Can't complain. It's been cold here, but that's okay because we just layer up. And when you're working hard and you're moving a lot, it's totally fine.
It's kind of brutal right now, though, working outside. I mean, look at you. You're like layered. How many layers do you have on?
I've got 3. No. And then I've got leggings on under my overalls. But yeah, I'm fine. So we owe everyone an explanation. It has been how many months since we've recorded?
7.
Okay. And at first, we just want to apologize. Life has been lifing.
That's a very light way of saying it, but yes, life has been lifing.
Yeah. Yeah. So what have you been up to the last 7 months?
Well, we unexpectedly decided to finish a house build and sell our home. And I know, and make the move to our long-term house here. Yes, unexpected, absolutely unexpected. It was, I don't know, I can't explain it. I had kind of a gut feeling, kind of went with it. We kept like temp checking and being like, oh my God, I think we can do this. Oh my God, I think we can do this. And it was so interesting because we were going through the process, and going through the process, there's so many divine intervention timing items that happened along the way that felt really cool. But for the most part, I think I want to say 5.5 out of the 7 months, I felt like I was cliff diving. So a lot of people that my friends that I would talk to, and they're like, oh my God, I would constantly say that just to make myself feel better. I feel like I'm cliff diving. I really did. We did. Steve and I did. And, but we are super excited. We love the new house. We couldn't be more pleased with how the process happened, and our neighbors are great. And I don't know, every morning I wake up and I pinch myself because I'm like, whoa, it wasn't a long road. It was, to your point, it was fast lifing, had to pivot a lot, but yeah, but it worked out. It worked out well. We're very grateful.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I knew that you were going to end up where you were
How
a
did
long
you know
time.
that?
A long time ago.
Why?
Because when you first moved down to where you are, you were like, I was visiting and you were showing me around, and you were like, that's Welland Park. And you're like, it's going to be a huge neighborhood, huge community, really nice. And I was like, and I kept that in my mental compartment.
Yeah.
And then when you kept talking about it, you kept bringing it up. You're like, this neighborhood is so nice. We've been going to the farmer's market. We've been hanging out there. And it's just like a really good time. I'm like, oh, okay. And then you were like, oh my God, look at this house. There's a freaking cabana in the back. And you were like, isn't this model so cool? And I was like, yeah, it is. It is cool. And I think at that point you were just like looking at them. But then I remember you were like, oh my gosh, we have an appointment to like go look at one, like actually look at one. I don't know what will happen. I'll keep you posted. And I was like, okay. And then when you called me back, you were like, we're doing it. I was like, cool. I love that.
Yeah, that was like different days. Like I remember going with my girlfriend who's our realtor, and she wanted to show me just around, and that was in the fall. And that this community was the only community that I took a folder. And yes, I was like, what is this? It's a cabana. Like, who doesn't want a cabana? You have a bathroom outside. So people don't come into your house while they're, hanging out in the lanai. I mean, it's pretty cool. So I took the folder and I remember I just kept looking at it and I kept saying to Steve, like, this is such a cool thing. Like, I wonder if we should do it here, kind of thing. I don't know. Maybe
Like at the house you were currently at.
yeah, at the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the house that we were currently at. And then it was, I want to say it was probably like April. Yeah, like it was like the beginning of April. And he
Mm-hmm.
said, he comes out of the room and he go in the bedroom and he goes, can I throw this folder away? I'm like, no. I was like, I'm manifesting my cabana. And he was just
Mm.
like, what are you talking about? Because he didn't, like, he had no idea. Fast
Yeah.
forward like 3 weeks, it all started like, that's why I say like just it all started kind of playing out. We had friends in, we had a couple hours to spare. We showed them the Welland Park community, and actually, we ended up going to the model,
Mm-hmm.
and it was the first time that Steve saw it, and he was just like, "Oh my God, this is really nice." I was like, "This is what I'm talking about. This is the folder, right?" He's like trying to like, catch up, like, "Let's go." And then he was like, "Well, where's the cabana?" Because it wasn't on the model home, but it was on the model home across the street. And so he looked, and he was like, "Oh my God." And I was like, yes. I was like, yes, it's the cabana. And so that was kind of like we went into Memorial Day, and Memorial Day was weird because I went out to the website and I was kind of like, oh my God, they have one lot left. Last model, last lot.
Mm-hmm.
It was like on final opportunity. So of course, you know what we do. We always say, oh my God, it's like a, Marshall special, like, or it's on clearance. And I just, you know, I told Steve, I was like, I'm going to just drive by. And so, of course, I drive by and they had just put the block up. And I said, oh my God, they just put
With
the
the
block
block,
up.
what do you mean by the block?
Like the block frame of the house. They
Oh,
do
okay.
cement block frames of the
Okay.
house. And I was like it wasn't as further along as I thought. And so I
Mm-hmm.
kept kind of like hemming and hawing. And then one day I just was like, I called up the office and I just said, I'm just curious, like, when is this house going to be done? And they said January, February of 26. And I was like, and I just got this gut feeling like, wow, like if we had enough time, if we wanted to list our
Mm-hmm.
house, sell it,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, and that's when my mind went into like race mode and just, I don't know, maybe we could. And that's when we ended up going for the day to kind of really like think about it with them and talk to
Mm-hmm.
them and see what we could do, what we couldn't do, because it was a spec home. And we didn't know how much we could customize, take over, not take over, that sort of thing. And it was a really great day. And I remember we ended up having to like kind of take a break, go grab something to eat. And you and James called, and we were at the taco place. And I was laughing because you're like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And you guys were in the car. I think you were driving back from Maine, maybe or something. But you were driving back and in the car. And I said, "Hey, I think we're going to buy a house." And you guys were like, like the last thing that you absolutely thought we were going to say. And that kind of started it all.
Mm-hmm.
And that, yeah, we ended up putting a deposit down and,
Mm-hmm.
contracted with them. And then it was just, I think it was probably 3 weeks after that, we listed the house. The house was for sale for only 22 days. But as anybody knows, when you sell a house, one day feels like 10. And so we ended up finding a buyer and they gave us full asking, although we had like 3 days before dropped the price a little bit. They gave us full asking. They were happy to close when we wanted to. And it was just one of those things like, wow, this is really happening. And so then, we started focusing on like designing this home and, picking stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really, really crazy. The hard part about all of it and making the decision to do it is that we couldn't do our annual trip with you guys to come down in November or December because we were gonna be we were in a
You
rental.
literally closed the last day of the year.
Well, and we closed on this house. Yeah, so we closed on the other house October 1st, and we closed on this house December 29th. So it was in that period where we couldn't host you, have you guys
Mm-hmm.
come visit, and so that was the hardest part, I think, because by September, October, I was kind of like, oh, I kind of really missed you guys. I talk to you guys all the time. We would FaceTime and stuff, but now we're gonna have our trip this month, and you get to come to the new house, and I'm super excited.
I know there's lots to celebrate when we go.
There is
Yeah.
lots to celebrate. I know.
Yeah.
So all
Very
good.
cool. Now you said this is your long-term home. What do you mean
Mhm.
by that? Like, what does this house mean to you?
This house is it really, it's funny because the other house that we built is completely different than this house. Even like color scheme. We still have most furniture, paintings, that sort of thing, but for the most part, it is kind of what we really like. We love have the space, the finishes. It's in a community where we can walk, we can be a part of different, a downtown, different events, that sort of thing, and even within our own street. Our neighbors reminds us of being up north with our neighbors. So it's for us, it's long term. It's where we can kind of hang our hat and kind of really just live here from now until whenever we're going to be here and just enjoy life. So, what have you been up to?
So much. Okay, let's see. Last spring, I was working at the veg farm and I was also working at a compost company. Like, it was like a subscription you could pay for, and you get a bucket and you fill your food scraps in it. And then I would be the person picking it up, giving you a new bucket, and then the cycle continues. And
Hmm.
so I'm really into composting. I'm really into soil health because I think that's the foundation of growing really good, nutritious food. And
Hmm.
so I thought this was like a really good, like, farm adjacent job to help me learn more about the industry.
Hmm.
I was very wrong about that because I was just a driver. I wasn't making the compost. And so I got an opportunity at the veg farm to actually start making compost at the farm. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to do that. So I quit the compost driving job to add more hours on at the veg farm to like make compost and be part of that operation and like actually manage that.
Hmm.
And everything was fine and dandy. And then like 2 weeks after I quit the compost job, the veg farm was like, we're closing early this season. And I was like, it was not a good feeling. I was like, okay, so now I had another opportunity to be like, okay, what am I going to do? Because I have to make a certain amount of money to live.
Hmm.
I got bills and all that. So, I'm like frantically panicking and like applying to a bajillion things. And I even was like considering like going back to like an office job
Hmm.
and just trying to make something work. And like one day at the farm, a coworker of mine said, hey, Little State Flower Company is hiring. You
Hmm.
should like
What's
check it
Little
out.
State? Well, is
So
that's
Little
the
State Flower,
flower farm.
correct. So Little State Flower Company is a flower farm in Rhode Island. And I know about it because all spring and summer I had been driving past their property because it's 2 doors down from my personal garden. And so for
Oh.
those who don't know, like I, through mutual friends, got connected with this woman who has a garden space in her yard. And it's like, she's got tools, a greenhouse, water, like everything you could want to grow stuff. And unfortunately, her husband and her would grow food for the food pantry. He unfortunately passed away. She couldn't take care of the land herself, which is like a very common thing
Hmm.
with land and agriculture. So she was like looking for someone to help. And me and James were like, yeah, we'll grow our stuff here. It's
It was a
great.
perfect pairing.
It really was. It really
Yeah.
was. And the only caveat there is it's 25 minutes away from where we live currently.
Hmm.
So if we wanted to do anything, especially it got really challenging, especially in the summer because we had a really hot and dry summer.
Hmm.
So watering became like a real big stressor for us because we would have to commute like 50 minutes round
Yeah.
trip to go water. And then it's like, okay, we turn the water on. What do we like? We just hang out there. Or sometimes I'd like go and hop in the ocean because we were like right next to the beach.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And then I like come back, turn the water off, and go home. But that became just like a lot on top of my day-to-day schedule.
Hmm.
And so this flower farm is 2 doors down from my garden. So I was like, okay, let me apply. And at first I was like, I don't know. But then I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to like put my
Hmm.
thing out there. And this was like the day after I was so frustrated with
Hmm.
applying for jobs. I was dog sitting and I was like walking the dog and I was like in the middle of the street in the neighborhood. And I just like looked up and I'm just like, you know what? Ever is meant to happen, please just like give me a sign.
Yeah.
I'm turning it over to you. Like I don't want to like keep forcing, you know?
Sure.
So I the next day applied for this job. The next morning, the owner reached out to me and said, "Hey, can you come in for an interview this afternoon?" And I was like, "Sure." So I go, it's really good. It went really well. And then so that was on a Friday, and then that same weekend, Sunday morning, she texted me and offered me the job. And that
Awesome.
was like really, really cool. So I was like very overwhelmed, but I took it. I accepted it.
Hmm.
And I had to talk to my, veg farm boss about it and make sure everything was good with the schedule. And they understood because they were like, yeah, like we're closing early, like we get it.
Hmm.
So I balanced both of those farms for the rest of the fall. And then I'd been at the flower farm through the winter. We are forcing beautiful tulips.
My God.
Aren't these so fun?
Wait, now, and just to explain, as of right now, to have those, because you're in a
Yeah,
greenhouse growing
it's,
beautiful flowers amongst 2 feet of snow and
I
sub
know.
below zero temperatures is so bizarre. It's so awesome. Like they're beautiful.
No one else does this around here. Like we are so unique. We are so unique in that respect, and it is so amazing just to be around flowers all day.
Right?
Like it's so funny too because the first farm I worked at, it's like it was a primarily veggie farm, but they did do flowers and they had a flower manager and all that. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I really like love the veg, but I think I'm like falling in love more with flowers
Yeah.
because I would just like love the arrangements she put together and we bring them to farmers markets and people would be really happy buying them. And I was just like, oh. And so, yeah, so it just like feels good to be at this other farm too. And now this season, I'm going to do both. I'm going to do the veg farm and the flower farm and be 2 doors down from my personal garden 3 days a week.
See, look at that.
And it's going to be amazing. So,
Another divine timing story.
yeah, it was, I mean, of course, it came with its own things, like, a
Of
lot of
course.
imposter syndrome, a lot of learning things again. I think, like, the biggest challenge for me during this 7 month period was like every time I felt like I got knocked down, like having to pick myself back up and like
Yeah.
finding motivation to just like begin again and like be
Yeah.
really gentle with myself. Like, that was hard, you
Yeah.
know?
You know what? It's a good point because, the process that we went through we also had, it wasn't gumdrops and rainbows. I mean,
Right.
we definitely had some very contentious parts of it, frustrating parts of it, where you had to trust the process in the big picture. So, like, a small step might not have felt really good.
But honestly, like without these experiences, I would have never learned how resilient I could be, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And also like learn what else is out there for me.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'm in a really good spot now. So
Mm-hmm.
that's really, really good. And for the winter, I also got a retail job because
Mm-hmm.
and that was really fun because it's like a very well-known beauty store and I felt like I was living two different lives of like one day I'd go to the farm and be covered in dirt and like just get to do whatever and be outside and hang out with animals and all that. And then the next day I'm like in this like fluorescent lighting retail space with like music blaring and like beauty
Mm-hmm.
products and perfume and like nail polish and it was just like very masculine, feminine
Mm-hmm.
energies and that's been interesting. And yeah, and I'm teaching yoga too, which I love doing so
Mm-hmm.
much. So now I'm teaching twice a week and I love it. My
Mm-hmm.
students are like the best
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like a highlight of my week that I get to go and just like connect with other people and
Mm-hmm.
give them space to connect with each other. So like it's been really cute lately like some of my students like they've been talking to each other after class or like before class or like
Oh, that's so nice.
it's really nice. So it's like I'm opening the space for them to connect with each other and like
Mm-hmm.
that's really what it's about too, you know?
I know when we were going through all this too, I was still, so I've been gosh, I want to say it's been like a year and a half. I've been part of this virtual energy circle with a group of women who are very interested about talking about how there's different types of energy and how that helps you kind of live, be in tune with yourself and to your point, helps you meet challenges in life, or be resilient, or look at the
Hmm.
positive, or that sort of thing. And being part of that has been so valuable to me. And it really did help as I was kind of going
Hmm.
through the process too, on our side. Because I think when challenges happen, so when challenges happen and you and I were under the same roof, it's like, the relationship and the dynamic of a family kind of like helped with that. When you now, as we're kind of doing our thing and we're not physically, close to each other or whatnot, it's just as important to have things like that that you had, like in the energy circle that I have, to kind of be able to have that kind of support. Of course, we have our friends, right? We have our friends and we have our family, we talk to them. But the changes and the challenges and the things that we go through, it's having different perspectives of how we get support to be able to help with that is, I don't know, it's kind of also kind of divine. It's divine timing. Because I know that your seasonal job, I know we talked a few times and you enjoyed, it might not have been an environment that you would have, that was a match for you. Like, like it's different. It's a different environment for you, but you absolutely embraced it and you had fun with it and you met some really great people. And so I think that's also important too. Like when people are going through challenging times or whatever, the best thing that you can do is like pause, change your perspective to kind of, find the good, good in everything and have fun with it. Because if you think about it the other way, it's, bring you down. You don't want to, you don't want to get sad or anything like that. So,
Well, yeah, I think there's it's justified to feel both sides of emotion. I think
yeah.
in order to get through a challenge, you have to feel the downside. But then
Mm-hmm.
I think about what you said that Grandma Ronnie used to say. She said, "You can have your pity party,
Mm-hmm.
but
You can have your pity party today, but tomorrow get back at it. Like it's
yeah,
just, it's important to have the pity party, have the, all the feels and all the conversations around it. But then moving forward and changing your perspective or figuring out how to, get past the challenge is also just as important. And how you do that and who you do it with is
mhm,
really important too, for sure.
yeah, 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 for sure. Cool. Well, okay. I just want to end with us. If we had to put the last 7 months into one word,
Oh God.
what word would you use?
One word, amazing.
Yay. I think mine would be fun.
Hmm.
Even though there were some moments it wasn't fun, but majority, it's been really fun. I mean, come on. How can you not have fun
I
when
know. They're so
this
pretty.
is what you're growing, you know?
They're so pretty.
Oh my God. Ugh, this one is Sunrise Dynasty.
Which one? The orange?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'll notice when it opens up, it's like yellow and then orange and then pink. It's like a sunrise, truly. And it's so pretty.
Grandma Ronnie's favorite flower was a tulip too.
Really?
She loved tulips. That
Oh,
was one
they're
of
the
her
best.
faves. You
They're
know
the
why I love
best.
tulips? They don't take plant food. And you can literally just trim them, put them in a new vase of water, and
Mhm.
just watch them move with the sunlight, right?
They do move.
They take on
Yeah.
like different they're beautiful. Yeah,
And they
they're very
open up. So
beautiful.
like this isn't even the beginning of what these are going to do. Like
Right.
they're going to open up like so
Right.
much. Oh, this
Right.
one,
So spring's
so
coming.
pretty.
So word to the wise, if you have a chance, get the tulips.
Yes. And if you can, shop local
Mm-hmm.
and get flowers that are grown near you, because a lot of flowers that you get in like grocery stores or things like that, like they're sourced internationally. They are on a plane before they even make it to you. Like they're getting shipped on a plane covered in pesticides because they have to look nice and
They have to
everything, right?
preserve them to a certain degree.
Correct. So
If
that would be
those
my
tulips
suggestion.
could talk,
Yes. Yes.
what a journey. I know.
I know.
I know.
But yeah, we have such an operation. It's so cool to see. And it's so good for the mental health right now when it's like snowy and cold and dark out to walk
Right.
into a heated greenhouse and see green and color. Like it's magic. Like it is absolute magic. So more to
Well, I'm
come on
very
that.
proud of you. I'm very
Thank
proud
you.
of you. I think it's
Right back
great.
at you.
Oh, nice.
You're following your dream, and that's
I
really
am.
good. It's really
I
important.
am. Yeah. Yeah. This was a me us decision. Like we wanted to do this. Like the
Yeah.
first time in a long time that we've done that. So yeah, it was good. It was all good. All right. So what would we like to we're back. That's what we've been up to. Yeah, we're back. And I will say along the way and in my travels, I have met some pretty neat people of which I have had conversations with that they're happy to be a guest with us on this podcast, talk a little bit more about their topic. And I'm excited to kind of do some episodes about that. And I think what did we want? We wanted folks to let us know in the comments for this episode, what do you guys have been up to for the last 7 months? I will say we don't have a lot of subscribers, hoping to build that. However, the subscribers that we do have, I have heard from some of them in the 7 months because they actually noticed that we weren't here. So we're back and we'd love to know what you guys have been doing. And any challenges you had and anything you did that kind of helped you through them. And give us any other topics that you guys are interested in.
Awesome. Great. Well, I think that's a great place to stop. What do you say?
Sounds good. All right.
Alrighty. Thanks everyone for listening. We're back.
We're back.
And this is your reminder.
Call your mother.
There you go. Alrighty. We'll catch you on the next one.
See you
Bye.
later.